Thanks for joining me on this top 5 list. My name is T. Kyle Smiley, and we're a little unforgiving, aren't we? There are a lot of good and bad directors out there who really put their heart and soul into each work that they create. And despite that, we are just so ready to take a shit on them every time they release something that just doesn't quite meet our expectations. I feel like there are still a lot of directors, even at the top of Hollywood, who are trying to create something meaningful to themselves that goes beyond the paycheck. And then there's assholes like this, and this, and this, who ruin it for everyone. So let's take a look at some of the best examples of the worst directors' best movies. These are the top 5 shockingly decent films by terrible directors.
Just what makes that little old ant think he'll move that rubber tree plant? Anyone knows an ant can't move the rubber tree plant. He's got high hopes. He's got high hopes. He's got high and so high enough.
Your train derailed. Took a curve too fast. A second train collided with yours after it derailed.
Don't worry, this list does get less predictable as we go along. For the record, it was a tough call putting Shyamalan on this list in the first place, since his best movies are also his first 2. So the shock didn't really come when he released a good movie, but when he never, ever, ever, ever released another even reasonably decent one. Still, an introspective look that starts with his later films and concludes with Unbreakable and The Sixth Sense makes you wonder how he ever squeezed 2 decent films out in the first place. My guess is the studios didn't let him have nearly as much leeway as in the later films.
They've never got me, and it's getting worse. They're like, it's almost like, go away.
That's why these films land everyone's favorite target at number 5.
So you could finally understand the destiny for which you were born.
Let me see if I can get some power up.
I had a tough time deciding between this and Death Race, but decided I liked Event Horizon just a little bit more. Paul W.S. Anderson is the most hated by me for screwing up what could have been a taut, well-paced horror film in Resident Evil, but for as much flack as his films receive, I guess I don't get why everyone shits on Event Horizon. The script isn't that over the top, although the gore certainly tries very hard to be, and while the horror and space genre was a bit played out by the time it was released, I genuinely thought the premise was absolutely terrifying. In an attempt to bend space-time, the ship opens a portal to enter another dimension that just so happens to be hell, a chaotic world of infinite terror and pain.
I created the Event Horizon to reach the stars. She's gone much, much farther than that.
It blended scientific and religious ideas that made them seem, however wildly unlikely, actually more plausible to me. And fun fact, this movie was initially rated NC-17 before Anderson was forced by the studios to cut 30 minutes of insane, chaotic sexual gore. In my book, that makes it alright. Top that off with some of the most gorgeous shots and well-made practical effects, and you've got a well-rounded horror movie that lands Anderson a little further out of the frying pan and into the number 4 spot.
Funny. What's that over there behind the desk?
Where?
Oh, behind the desk, against the wall over there.
Who could forget the timeless classic A Christmas Story? Remember Christmas Story? When little boy wants a BB gun rifle gun for Hanukkah night 3? Santa say a ho, 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 when a kid gets his wiener stuck to the pole? Wait a minute. Bob Clark? Bob Clark? Bob Bob Clark? Also, Rhinestone. Right. Rhinestone. It's not good. Russell Mulcahy's directing career has been thus far a far cry from critically successful, but there is one intensely glorious moment in his history. No, not that.
There can be only one.
There we go. This movie is not high art, but its simple premise and playful execution has earned it a place in the hearts of millions.
Very good. It won the Academy Award.
Oh, for what?
The best movie ever made.
Pardon my French, but that soundtrack is fucking epic! Just slap Queen over anything and it's instantly 20,000 times better. That's true, you can look it up. And even though I'm from Arkansas and it was a hot temptation to put Razorback on here instead, Highlander is just way too awesome to not land the number 2 spot. Oh, Uwe Boll. Uwe? Okay, enough of that. We all know you. We all hate you. If you don't know him, he's the guy you saw get shot in the dick 5 times. You are so desperate for a hit that you'll literally just hit someone and say, "There it is! $1 billion hit right there, bitches!" But despite every horrendous movie you ever shat out, you managed to squeak out one freaking movie that is actually decent. Rampage is a blood-soaked, testosterone-driven, psychopathic love letter to snuff films everywhere. And you know what? It's good. It's actually pretty damn good. I don't want to reveal too many plot details, but the basic gist is a simple, even overdone concept of a kid who feels like life has pushed him too far and decides to vent his frustrations by doing that thing we've all pictured ourselves doing on those really bad days. Murdering the entire town. Oh, and I mean everyone. Almost no one is spared. The kid's a pretty decent actor and really drives home the carnage without it feeling too cartoony.
Oh, hi. Scary shit, huh? Here we go.
You actually do have sympathy for the people he kills, but there's a balance of flat, mean characters whose deaths are almost a relief to the deaths of the unknown innocents. And to top it off, there's a spectacular ending that I never saw coming. Boll is a hack, and is proud to say that he doesn't have to try hard to make money as a director, but if he makes any more movies like this, then maybe we can pump the brakes and give him a little more time to mature into the filmmaker this movie indicates he can be.
Yes, I don't need my help at all.
And there you have it, the top 5 shockingly decent films from terrible directors. If you liked this video, feel free to leave it a like, and if you liked me, feel free to subscribe, baby. Sorry, that was kind of creepy, wasn't it? From Like My Style Productions, this is T. Kyle Smiley. See you next video.